Good morning, everybody. Got your coffee? I got mine. So, there are a couple people I need to thank today before I get started on what it is I want to talk about. And I got to tell you, trigger warning for this conversation. Um, I want to say thank you to T. Taylor. Thank you for my smoothie yesterday. I love smoothies, but I so rarely get the opportunity to enjoy them because I seldom leave my home. The life of an introvert, okay? But thank you so much for that, sis. I really appreciate you. And to Willie, I appreciate you too, brother. You're not new to this. Thank you so much for your love and support. I really do appreciate you. I want you to have a good day today, okay? And to Stephanie. Stephanie, thank you so much for the coffee money. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you all. Um, with that said, trigger warning. I don't know how I'm going to come at y'all this morning because when I tell you I am so triggered, there's a conversation that is going on right now on TikTok. And it is centered around CNN correspondents Angela Wright and Kevin O'Leary. If you know, you know. But I'm going to explain some of it. Angela Wright was asked a question. She was on a panel, having a panel discussion. And she was asked a question by the moderator. The moderator specifically called on her. And while answering this question, Kevin O'Leary reached out and touched her in an attempt to quiet her. She very firmly said that to not touch her. And then he said, "But I did it nicely." To which she replied, "But I don't want you to touch me." And then he gets a little snippy and says, "Okay, I'll never do it again." Good. Great. And I listened to what people had to say about this interaction. And I was so disappointed to see a brother trash talk Angela Rye, say things like, "This is why black men don't like black women. This is why we can't stand y'all. I don't like her in particular. She's got too much mouth, yada, 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 yada." That particular black man needs therapy. He needs a lot of it too. This is what I mean when I say boundaries. When it comes to personal boundaries, she set a boundary. She said that she did not want this man to touch her. And this is a boundary that I set for myself many, 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 many years ago. Back when it was not popular for a woman to tell people not to touch her. I've been long telling people not to touch me. I have experienced a lot of sexual battery, abuse, and physical and sexual violence from men. Black men in particular. Feel your feelings, but that is my truth. Even though that this was a white man, but I promise you I have a point in saying that. She said that when she spoke her boundary, she stated it firmly. And then when he tried to gaslight her, she reinforced her boundary in real time. And people have a problem with her and not him. Now, all of the Angela Rye supporters who are coming to her defense, thank you and bless you. Because the moment was worth defending. It is the way men feel so entitled to women that they can just lay hands on a woman that is unknown to them and shush her or whatever his intentions were in that moment, especially to black women. And black women, because we are so far down on that patriarchy, that bullshit patriarchy, we get it the most. We get it the most. We get that from white men. We get it from white women. We get it from the Asians, the Latinos. And unfortunately, we get it from other black people, black men, and other black women too. When a woman sets a boundary, I don't know what it is where people feel like women are not entitled to set boundaries. Don't touch me, don't come into my personal space has always been a boundary. And then when I have been gaslit in that same way. When I set the boundary, instead of the boundary being respected, okay, that's your boundary. I feel you. I got you. I'll do my best to make sure that that never happens again, that I never infringe on your boundary. Instead of that boundary being accepted, people will push against your boundaries. And then when you stand firm on your boundary, they will gaslight you and act like you are the problem. Case in point, I had someone not too long ago wigging out in my comments, acting a fool. And in my commentary, one of my videos, I said something in a way that I guess they didn't like. They felt like I should have said it another way. And I politely, and they were polite when they said it, mind you, but still, that person, if they're going to be in this space that I created, they need to understand that when I say something, I don't need for you to come around, unless it's something that I said I stated it like a fact and it wasn't. But when I'm just talking, you don't get to come along and then say, well, you probably should have said it this way. No, I said it the way I wanted to say it. And I don't need for you to police my words or put your words into my mouth. I'm not a puppet. I know how to articulate my own viewpoint. I don't need you to do that for me. And mind you, I wasn't rude. I was firm. But the person came back, created another account because they couldn't handle the fact that I guess it does feel like when someone is setting a boundary, it does kind of feel like a check. And it is a check in a way. It's me letting you know that I'm not okay with the action you just took against me. And so people get offended and their ego gets in the way. So they created another profile, said I was condescending, that kind of thing. And no, I was just firm on my boundary. I wasn't condescending. They created, a whole nother profile to gaslight me from, to make it seem like I was the issue. When what I said was, I can appreciate what you just said, but I'm going to say it the way I want to say it. Everybody that's looking at me right now has a platform. You can say whatever you want, however you want on your platform. But this is the platform that I created. This chair and this camera and this is all me. Being my authentic self. And when you put words into my mouth or you try to police me to control me for your own benefit, your own comfort, your own pleasure, there's nothing authentic about that. Just let me be me. And if you have a problem with who I am, just politely leave. There's always that option. No one is holding you here. No one. But anyway, I am the same way. I don't like unwelcome touch. We don't know what that woman went through in her life to get her to the point where she created that boundary and she is standing firm on it. It doesn't make her a bitch. It makes her strong. That queen had every right to stand on that boundary. And if his feelings got hurt live on camera, how is that her problem? That's his problem. Because he never should have touched this woman who, one, he didn't have permission to touch, and two, he didn't know like that. He touched her. She said, don't touch me. Something similar happened not too long ago with Bakari Sellers, and I believe it was a white woman. And he told her not to touch him. Everybody was fine with that. So it's okay for the man, but it's not okay for the woman? As much physical, sexual, mental, emotional violence that women experience at the hands of men, and yet the messaging is still to women, you do not have bodily autonomy. I am welcome to your body and your person. especially if you are of color or black. And you shouldn't have anything to say about it. I know what the problem was with that brother, because that's just projection. He has probably either touched some woman that didn't want to be touched, wishes he could touch some woman, or he's done worse. But with men like that, they're always a red flag. Because what he is saying at the end of the day is, I have the right to touch you, a woman, if I want to. And you don't have the right to tell me not to. That queen had every right. And she had every right to check him where he stood. No, she don't have to wait till the show ended. No, she don't have to wait till a commercial break. No, she don't have to wait till they meet up at the bar or wherever it is they go to finish these discussions afterwards. He touched her unwanted right then in that moment. And right then in that moment is when she should have told him, don't touch me. And I would have done the same thing too. You people are weird that don't understand boundaries. And you don't have any self-awareness. You lack self-awareness and critical thinking skills. And it's just, It's the way you can see how other people are harmful to you, but the way you can't see how you're harmful to other people. It's the way you can see how people do things wrong, other people do things wrong. You can see their wrongdoings, but you can't see your own. It's the way you expect people to respect your boundaries. That's if you are strong enough to set any for yourself. But when people enforce their boundaries against you, then it's a problem. They're rude, they're condescending, they're a bitch. They talk too much. Everyone is the owner of their own bodies. Speaking of which, Sherry Shepherd had no business telling Megan Thee Stallion to cover up. That's Megan Thee Stallion's body. Is that something that I would have wore even at my best self? No, absolutely not, because that ain't my style. But it's her style and it's her body. And one of the reasons why young black women find it hard to be in community with older black women is because we always think we got the right to tell them what to do with their bodies. No one has ownership over anyone else's body. You don't get to tell people what to do with their bodies. You don't get to touch people's bodies. People who do not want you to touch their bodies. No means no. And bodily autonomy and her body, her choice doesn't just begin and end with abortion. That it includes everything. Skimpy clothing, BBLs, breast augmentation, piercings, tattoos, physical touch. You do not have the right to police other people's personal bodies. Their bodies is their personal space. You do not have a right to other people's bodies in that way. Worry about yourself. Worry about yourself. And the fact that you can't seem to understand that when it comes to other people's bodies, it ain't none of your business. You do not have a right to anyone's personal space in that way. Worry about yourself. It will make you a better person here and in here. That is all I have for this afternoon. I put the pantry together yesterday on my way home from picking my husband up from work. I saw 4 kids all in a single file line, one after the other, with goodies from the pantry, walking back towards the main street. And they had baby food. I guess there's a baby in the house. They had a Connect 4 game. They had other toys. They had snacks. And I just love to see it. So I'm going to get out there and paint the pantry later on today. And y'all have a good day. Do something nice for someone. It'll make you feel better.